Howdy, how is it going? We are going to... How's it going over there, man? You tell me, this non-embodied voice from far away. It's just me. I'm the only one sitting here. I'm doing great. I'm doing the best. That's all that matters. I'm going to make a Dungeons and Dragons character here. That is the plan. I'm going to be using DnD Beyond. Now, how many of these videos are out here already with a bajillion people showing how you make a character in DnD Beyond? Probably thousands, I'm going to guess. So, not the first one to do this. It's not unique. This is an amazing tool that you can use for Dungeons and Dragons, and I've enjoyed using it. I haven't gotten to use it majorly in a campaign yet, just because I use Roll20 and I've invested way too much money in it. So that's my life. And Roll20 is a great service. It's a great service for sure. But I wish I had the fanciness of the D&D Beyonds. I wish I'd already poured my cash into there, but I didn't. So yeah, I'm gonna take this opportunity here to just make a Dungeons and Dragons character in here. I've done a few so far. I feel like this is such a nice and clean system to use, so I'm going to just go through. I've had a character knocking around in my head for a while, and as I go through, I'm probably just going to illustrate the steps, because why not? You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if a million people have done this already. I'm ready to do it. Enough talking. Time to create. All right, collections, my characters. That's effectively where you gotta go. For you guys, it's going to be 0 here. I've got 2 characters from a previous campaign that I'm in, but 2 out of 6. So yeah, you're going to have a limited amount depending on the campaign that you're in. Whoever is running the game has a campaign. I have no idea what this looks like when you're not in a campaign. I'm going to guess it's unlimited characters, but you're going to click this awesome button right up here. Create a character. Make them cool. And it's going to ask you standard quick build randomize. I will note I don't know absolutely everything about this, so you're probably going to see me reading some bologna sandwiches to figure out what the hell it is I'm doing. But some of it I do understand. So let's just go over this. You got your standard is create a character by making choices using step-by-step approach. This is obviously the best choice. You got a quick build, which is create a first level character using recommended starting options. So you've showed up on the table, you're ready to play, you don't have your character sheet, and your DM's like, where the hell is your character, dude? And you click on this button and you say, oh, it's right here. Or actually, no, that's more this. Randomize. Create a character of any level with random statistics by setting parameters. I'm wondering which of these would be the fastest. Between these two, panic button, you click one of them. I'm a rogue, the multi-class into warlock, please. Please let me in your game. We'll just do standard. I don't know what this is. Show help text, ideal for beginners. Oh, that's nice. Sort of lets you through. I'm gonna guess that this is always going to be your best choice if you're not pressed for time. Standard is the is your solid, and then you get this this cool beginning screen. It's going to take you through these steps here at the top, which is nice walkthrough for creating a D&D character. Let me tell you, back in the day when I had to show up at people's houses with the book and be like, all right, get ready. Get ready, because it's gonna be like doing your taxes. Like, let's sit down, let's get all the papers out, your pencils, and you got some critical choices to make, sir. Today, I need your 401k, your social security number. Get it ready, because we're gonna make a D&D character. This is nice. This is nice compared to those 2015 days so long ago. So to start off, you got your character portrait, your character name. I feel like most people really just wait to jump into that. If this ends up being a long video, I'm sorry. I wasn't really thinking to... I'm not going to edit this or chop it down or make it snippy, snappy, ready to go. I'm sure there's plenty of that already out there. This is just a nerd named Ed making his character and going through the steps as he goes. I just need to check my audio is actually on, or else I'm just talking to myself. Well, man, what's the point? God, what's the point? So I usually wait for this. I feel like a lot of people do. Character portraits and names come after. I have an idea of what I want this character to look like, but I kind of want to set things in motion before I truly commit. And it's nice because they usually give you a while to go after this. I didn't know that name generators from an actual company here, fantasy name generators. Interesting. I can click on it and figure out where I'm not going. There's a rabbit hole. Will take me away. So sources. This is effectively telling you like what books are you using. Oh wow, playtest content is literally. Is this new playtest content? It's new playtest content. Okay, good. I was like, they're not using the old playtest content back when it was D&D Next, are they? So this will just let you turn on what is going to be, available to you and what isn't. So I've got Eberron content on. Eberron is a book. There's obviously different separate books for D&D. You know, if you're stepping in brand new, there's a gajillion sets of books for D&D, all kinds of different rules. If you want things to be as simple as possible, you literally just turn everything off. And this is going to be core stuff. Like you're going to get what's out of the main core book, yeah, just your basics. And probably Volo's Guide, probably Mordekainen's. Like you're gonna get most of the core stuff. Eberron and Magic the Gathering, this is them releasing like new worlds with extra junk going on. Yeah, they did a Rick and Morty situation here. So if it's basically set up if you want these extra options. I would say they have these on automatically because the Magic Gathering content and Eberron content, I mean, it's just new races. It's just new like options. It's nice to have that for your characters. Homebrew content, Critical Role content, I love Critical Role, don't get me wrong at all, but like as far as having things that are core game and approved by the core creators themselves, you kind of want to stick with this. I mean, technically Rick and Morty content can stay in there, and then yeah, I would steer away from any of this extra stuff unless your DM is just, you know, doesn't care at all, which is great. Totally cool. Not the way I run it, but the way some people run it, and I'm totally fine with that. So I'll keep these on because these are actual printed books, made with ink, not pencil. Cheeky.
Take that, Bat Mercer. Your
what's his class that he made? I don't know. The blood.
Your blood hunter can suck it.
Goodbye. But yeah, we're keeping the core. Partnered content. Runeterra. Interesting. I don't even know about this. Allow restricted partner content to be used for this character. This content is unofficial and should be used by DM's discretion. Yeah, I'll never turn that on. I don't even know what Runeterra is. I'm going to be honest. I actually need to look that up. I will send a reminder for myself here, actually. Notepad. I should get it out just in case I run into stuff, because it's been a while since I've gone through all this content. Advancement type. Obviously, according to your DM, milestone XP. XP system in 5e isn't the best. I'm using it now. It can work, but it can only work heavily manipulated. It's kind of best to have both when you run a game. Like, it's kind of milestone, kind of XP. Players like to count something and feel like they're getting closer to success. Milestone is fine for creating a character. It's not a big deal. Obviously, just ask your DM, is it milestone or XP, and chances are, I'm gonna say probably like 7 times out of 10 it's gonna be milestone, because most DMs are not interested in keeping track of that. I might be wrong, in my experience. Hit point type. When leveling up, increase hit points by the fixed value for your chosen class or manually entered a rolled value. So this is basically, are you rolling your hit dice on a table, or do you want the game to do, this system to do it for you? I say fixed in this scenario, unless you've got some dice and you're itching to roll them. You got a DM with eyes on it and wants to check it out, or doesn't care in any way. It works. You got your multi-class requirements and your feats. I think it's really silly that these are still optional, that like they are even a thing that says in the books that it's up to DMs if they want to let you multi-class or want to let you have feats. I feel like nowadays, if I was even to like, just the idea of showing my table, all right everybody, no feats and no multi-class requirements, no fun and nothing at all. Now, what's funny is, I think that's ridiculous, and then some people will tell me I don't use Unearthed Arcana. I'm ridiculous because of that. And I get it. I do feel like there's a difference, because feats and multi-class requirements are printed in, like, published material. versus Unearthed Arcana being just like, I thought of this really cool ability, let's just throw it in there and see how it works. Just throw darts against the wall and hope it succeeds. I'd rather have something a little more ready to go. At this point, feats in multi-class have proven that they're fine. They're not breaking anything. They're not throwing anything into disarray, and they're normal. So I'd leave those bad boys on. I might timestamp this just because of how much. It doesn't matter. It's not that great. Show level scaled spells. Display the highlight available spells to cast with at higher level spell slots. I mean, yeah, sure, leave that on. Lets you know what spells can actually scale with your spell slots as you go. Not really bad situation. Encumbrance type. Use the standard encumbrance rules. Honestly, it's completely up to your DM. A lot of this stuff is like, I feel like you get to this page, especially, and you're just sitting here like messaging, just DMing the crap out of your DM. Hey, what do I do? And a lot of times it's gonna be, it doesn't matter. Unless you have a really strict dungeon master. The use encumbrance, I'm gonna do no encumbrance here. I honestly feel like encumbrance, I've used it. I've played with it. I think everybody should play at least one game using the like stricter rules. I think that's a really good, like, going over this page is immediately making me think that's a really good advice to go for the strictest possible rules at some point in your D&D career, just so you can immediately see what fucking sucks. Like, do XP, do encumbrance, do ammo tracking and all of that. And some of your tables might love it, but it at the very least, if you've got a group that you play with a lot, trying out like the hardcore stuff and like giving it a shot can really tell your table like what is fun here and what's not. Like, we played Tomb of Annihilation and immediately I'm like, I never want to do hexes again. Fuck that shit forever. never ever. So yeah, no encumbrance. My experience with it is always ridiculous as long as my party doesn't just throw it. I'm really making this character from the perspective of a DM, aren't I? That's fine. I'm the only one here. Yeah, like, as long as the parties are going, I want to pick up 10,000 bajillion coins. Yeah, and it's right here. Ignore coin weight. Coins do not count against total weight. Yeah, it's like really difficult to enforce this or care about it, like, especially if you're not using some sort of system like DnD Beyond to keep track of it. So, like, honestly, keeping this turned off is fine. Like, you're not playing D&D to be in the fucking, the real life simulator. You're throwing fireballs and flying dragons. Like, you're fine. As long as things don't get out of hand and you're carrying billions of gold in your infinite pockets. I feel like there's a silent agreement there between party and DM. That I won't hassle you as long as you don't fucking abuse this. The end. Ability score modifier display. Reverse the arrangement of ability score modifier and scores. Interesting. Modifiers on top and scores on bottom. I'm not going to get into crazy details about explaining everything about Dungeons and Dragons, like what this exactly means. I'm going to assume that if you're watching this, you know what some of this means. But this is just preference. It's just, do you want your stats on top or your modifiers on top? Like, which are you wanting to look at? And honestly, it's, for me, I don't know why you'd want to see the score. Just see the modifier. Life is easier. I mean, I guess you could have the score up if you like doing math. It just seems like the modifier is more important. Character privacy. Toggle the viewing of your character to private. I didn't even know this is a thing. People can go check out other people's characters. Is there like a friends list in D&D Beyond? That's public. I don't care. Unless it's like people in the same campaign as you can see it. All right, cool. So we've started gone down this list. I doubt any of you are actually going to spend that much time on this. It's probably going to be like, click. Okay, good. I'm good. I'm gone. But I just wanted to go over everything here. It's kind of the plan. Okay. Next. So you can hit that little button, or you can hit the one up here. As we'll keep going. Oh, look at this. We got a huge access to all kinds of cool stuff. It's interesting because I'm at all sources and it doesn't actually have what I was looking for here, and I'm pretty sure we own this. So basic rules, elemental, choose race. I wonder if it's because I don't actually have this character, because it's giving me only basic characters. So this is what you would normally see. I think this character isn't in the campaign that it's supposed to be. So I'm actually going to head back to my collections and go to my characters. It'll save that character. Ah, yes, yep. See, so I am in the Oh Hello campaign. I am a cheapskate. I don't actually own any of the D&D Beyond content. One of my friends does. I don't know how I can immediately get you in this campaign. I'm sure it's got to be something edited here. Home, hit point type. How do I get you in the campaign? Character privacy, coin weight. I know that I can, only because it should absolutely 1000% be possible. Randomize home, collections, my characters. Let's go back to my characters and see if there's something here, because it's literally giving me a campaign here. So if I go to create a character again, it's going to give me this options, do the standard. Yeah, it just takes me right there. And then it's got another character here. How do I get them to be a part of a campaign? Let's go into Oh Hello really quick and see, create an unassigned character. I think that's what I have to do. So these are all the characters that are in this campaign, and I think I have to do this. Are you sure you want to create a new unassigned character? Yes. Confirm. And now I believe it's going to give me all the access to things that I want. Yeah, I think you have to actually click on the campaign that you've been invited to, and then you get in. All right, cool. So let's just set up what we had before. Modifiers at top, public, feats, multi-class requirements are good. Hit point fixed, milestone, and we only have that. Awesome. Love it. Cool. Next, and now I have access to a massive amount of. Okay, so now I'm inside of a campaign. So that's a nice little lesson to learn. If you are creating a character for a campaign, you have a dungeon master who's gone out and purchased all of the content for D&D that they want to use. You need to make sure that your character you're creating is created inside of the campaign. And let's actually head back to the collections really quick and clean it up and like make sure we're confirmed that. So this is going to be, yep, so I'm in Oh Hello, unassigned. We're going to delete that old character that I made there. Boop. I don't know exactly how you access a campaign if you're already in one. Let me just go here. Is this like a campaign? Campaigns here, collections, my campaigns. I think that's all you go to. Yep, you go to my campaigns and collections, and then you go into the actual campaign. So always good to do that. Don't create a character. Don't go right to the create a character section, because you're just going to make one on your own account, of which you're still limited to only 6, I'm guessing, unless you sign up. All right, let's do what we were gonna do. Character not ready. Go into character builder. Yeah, I know it's not. Don't sass me. All right, cool. So we're going to pick our race. I would very much like to try out Leonin. They are a new race that came with the Mythos, the recent, I forget the full name, Mythos book that dropped with all the gods information. A nomadic lion-like humanoids who are rarely interact with other rarely interact with other peoples, having all they need in their shimmering homeland. Got their racials, their strength. Kind of gives you a brief overview of everything they've got going on, which is nice versus having to like search for everything in the book. It all kind of gives it to you, all these awesome abilities. So we got our Constitution going up by 2, our Strength by 1. We get Dark Vision. I'm sure you know what that is. Claws. Claws existed on Tabaxi. It's very similar, but I think Tabaxi might have been Dex based. I could be wrong. This is Strength based. Makes more sense for like a lion type character versus Tabaxi, which feel more like a cat. I said that with such like a cat. I have cat. I love cats. Hunter Instincts gives you your proficiencies. Just fancy name for it. Daunting Roar is actually a really great ability. Bonus action to fear everyone around you once per rest. Super cool. DC equals 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus Constitution modifier. So in creating this character, I'm going to definitely focus on trying to get that con modifier up super, super high. I would like it to be awesome. Languages, you can speak, read, and write Common and Leonin. I love that. I like my only thing with like how often is me speaking Leonin gonna show up? You know, it's cool. It's like the same thing as when you become like a halfling and you're like, yeah, I learned halfling. I know how to speak halfling. When is it going to be relevant? Probably when you're only talking to other halflings. Like, I don't know how many DMs are going to be prominent about that. They're going to make most people just talk the common language because they don't want to deal with the language barrier situation. I would love to actually see more DMs push that, like elves only speaking Elvish, dwarves only speaking Dwarvish, and having to really put some emphasis on languages meaning something. That would be cool. That would be cool. It'd be difficult, but it's kind of in the same vein of like encumbrance. Like, it's cool, but when does it become annoying versus interesting? So having that balance. All right, we're gonna choose the Leonin because I want to be a lion. Because it's cool. Choose a race. Very cool. And it gives you another brief overview here so you can see everything going on. And it's nice. One of the coolest things about this, it highlights what you're doing. It highlights what needs to be done, what choices you have to make, which is beautiful because that's literally the job I used to have when I went to people's houses with their tax papers, basically, in a giant briefcase full of shit. Like, all right, get ready to make some decisions. But it's nice this gives you the opportunity just by highlighting it. Very good UI, what it is you need to do. So because of my hunter instincts, I get a choice between athletics, intimidation, perception, or survival. The type of character that I'm going for here, I want to go a female lioness. I want them to be, I don't know if I'm doing quite monk or if I feel like barbarian will be better, but like a brawly barbarian. Originally, when I thought of the Leonin race, that it would be really cool to do monk. Like, immediately I was like, oh yeah, monk would be great, but their focus on constitution isn't like prominent, and I feel like with something like barbarian, that the Leonin might feel even better. But yeah, I want to be a very, very slick, very cool, very powerful lioness. Athletics, intimidation, perception, and survival. I don't know that I want her to be, that's the thing, I gotta have her be strong, but I don't want her to be the brawn kind of strong. It's almost like I want a dex character that's not dex. Like, really what I want is the monk, but statistically I want the barbarian. Like, I want the idea of the monk with the statistics of the barbarian, because I want I'm imagining somebody very very quick, very agile. I'm imagining a dexterity-based character versus athletics, but I feel like I can have somebody be strong but also elegant in that strength. So I would like athletics. I think Hunter Instinct makes sense here. I don't know that I want to make her terribly intimidating, though that would be cool. It sucks that I can only pick one of these. I'm sure I can get more as I go, and I know intimidation is going to be part of the barbarian trait when we get there. I'm feeling athletics, honestly. I feel like just especially because you're making this decision based on the race versus anything else. Like, you definitely want to keep in mind the tab that you are on. Because I'm going by race, like, what benefit does her being a Leonin apply to her? And I'm thinking, definitely, all of these make sense, but for her and the way that I'm thinking, God, they're all good. They all represent what you would think a character would do. But I would say for the most, it would just be her natural strength, for sure. Athletics feels right. I don't have to make any more decisions, which is nice. So I know that I can sort of end this page. I can go little next button right there. And now comes the daunting task of choosing your class. Hey, there's the artificery up at the top. Nice. And it highlights that it's from a different book. That is cool. I hope that they add more classes in the future. I'm sure everybody has that same feeling. So my decision between monk and it could be monk, fighter, or barbarian. All of those are really good for this class because they get bonuses to constitution, this race. And I feel like it goes in this order. It makes sense. This is usually the order I present characters to players, especially when for the first time, because you can kind of bounce from one to the other very easily and make decisions based off of that. But 2 Constitution, 1 Strength, very much a martial class or martial race for the Leonin, and I'm thinking I gotta pick. I mean, it would be almost a waste. It'd be funny, but going like Wizard Leonin, it would be cool. That's still a really cool idea, but it sucks because statistically your stats are kind of a toss in the bucket. Of course, they're still going to do something, but they're not going to add as much to your character. But it's D&D. You don't obviously you can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It's more about the fun at the table than being the perfect, whatever. But personally, I like to kind of fit themes. I feel like Ranger would also work for this. Actually, let me peek at Ranger. It's been a long time. Dexterity and Wisdom and Strength, and it's interesting that their saves are Strength and Dexterity. Ranger is definitely the area that like I would want her to be. I wish they would rework the Ranger, though, is the only thing. It's hard to get into that class because it's definitely has a lot of holes in it, needs some fixing. So Monk is also Dexterity Wisdom based, Strength and Dexterity saves as well. So yeah, Monk and Ranger are kind of in that same area. And Barbarian, the primary ability obviously being Strength with the saves and Constitution. It'd be nice if they pushed more Constitution based abilities with Barbarians. Give them something else. And then the Fighter, Strength or Dexterity. I love Dexterity fighters. They're cool. They're basically what a Ranger should have been in a lot of ways. And a lot of times people want to be that kind of Ranger. I just suggest go Dexterity fighter. So for her, I believe we are going to stick with Barbarian. It feels right. Just because I really want to see like how great this character can be. So we get a lot of cool stuff. I think it's nice that they get to show you this immediately, but literally the next page is going to give you the same situation, and you're actually going to be able to read it. So I almost feel as though this pop-up box is redundant. I mean, actually, no, it's not redundant at all. It gives you its purpose is to kind of scan these and see what you want versus having to commit to a whole new tab. So no, these are purposeful. I am completely wrong. I don't design websites for a living, so I can't say. Yeah, this is the page that we want to see. Our hit points are awesome. We have rage, your standards for Barbarian, get real mad, unarmored defense, get our armor class up and not have to wear a bunch of armor, though I know a lot of people want to very badly have armor on their Barbarians and want to see a subclass where that's available, because like who didn't play Diablo 2 and have armor on their Barbarian? That shit was sweet. Should be an option. So I get my proficiencies, my 2 Barbarian skills. This is where I'm going to be able to catch up on some of those things I had to pass up with race. Intimidation, I feel like I should definitely be able to have. I'm a big... I mean, even if I'm imagining her to be not as brawny, as more slender, more agile, I still feel like... because I'm thinking Panther more than Lion, even though I am a Leonin. But like, if you've seen female lions, there's strength, but they're not fucking super, like they're still super intimidating, very large beasts. But I'm going for a character that is more. Definitely, like, elegance is the word that is in my head. I'm literally thinking of like Queen Lion here, like very much Queen Lion, like power in the stance, like tall. Imagining that she's taller than like a male Leonin, but slender. Honestly, it's like a mix almost between Tabaxi, because Tabaxi are a little more slender, but I always imagine Tabaxi to be shorter, and I want her to be tall and imposing. So I get another one here. Perception, Survival are definitely ones that I let go before, and I'm really feeling like Perception was one. Like, I feel like I'm imagining those keen lioness eyes, like she sees everything within her domain and just has that shit on lock. Intimidating, I think, just because of the presence and the capabilities. You know what I'm basing her off of in my head? God, I can't remember her name, but it was a female villain to it was the female villain to the second I don't know why I'm specifying females. The only villain to the second lion. What is it called? Fuck. Why can't I remember the name? It's literally just in the moment. All right, let me just get this up here. What is Lion King? There it. I don't know why I lost that. Lion King 2. What's her name? It's like Lion King 2. Babe the guy. What is, yeah, Zira. I'm literally thinking of Zira. 100% when I'm making this character, I'm thinking of Zira. Just that power, that, like, very much, like, intelligence. Like, intelligence mixed with strength. I like that a lot. So I definitely will try and make them have a decent intelligence stat, I think, as well. Yeah, Lion King 2 is it's like the best direct-to-video Disney movie ever. So proficiencies are set. Good to go. Rage is good. All these are sweet. Awesome. Perfect. We're going to be building them out at level 1, but then we're going to show what it looks like to level them up to like level 5. Like just get them just a super jump, and that'll kind of give an idea of what leveling is like in general. So all these awesome features, essentially with the barbarian, it's not going to take me too long. All right, cool. So now we come to the abilities. So your actual scores. This is usually the part where your dungeon master's like, all right, bust out the D6s. It's time to roll in front of me and for all of us to laugh at how terrible your scores are. It's usually why I stick to standard array. I feel like the fiasco that is rolling dice is funny, but half the time either goes too poorly or too well. Wow, I just found a gigantic bug on my my desk. Let me just seal him off forevermore in this cup that I have here. All right, you are sealed, sir. Ooh, there's a lot of bugs because I have an air conditioner in the other room. I almost kind of want to take care of him really quick. I don't want him to escape into the nether. I'm not like hyped about that. Or maybe there's just something that I can like hold him down more. It's become Bug Watch 2020 versus what we were doing before. Okay, that seems more like a sealed deal. I don't want to put this back on here. My room is a mess. What's wrong with me? Okay, back to what we were doing now that that bug is dealt with. So this is normally your scenario where you roll dice and there's chaos. I have always told my players to use standard array ever since some crazy games where one person got just the worst stats and somebody got just out of this world insane stats, and that unfortunately dictated a shift in joy for my players, and it honestly came from the person who had the higher stats. They were bummed out at how much they were just dominating the fight scenes, that they would actually visibly hold back what they were doing and do less to hope that other people can catch up and feel like they are doing something as well, and it just made everything just fucked. Nobody's having a good time when it feels like the balance isn't there. And I feel like as far as D&D goes, it's really hard to solidify that balance. So the standard array is a very futile attempt at balancing things still, because that D20, it decides all things, whether you want it to or not. But I feel like standard array is at least a step in the direction of a more balanced table, where everybody gets to start with the same stats and nobody else feels like they're just overshadowing other people. In this scenario, I actually don't. So I say all that. I say all of that, but in this scenario, I really just I'm really kind of wanting to roll, honestly, and I think I'm gonna roll for the camera and have to stick with my stats as they go, just to show the the weakness of this situation. So I am going to set up my cam here and see what this looks like. See if see if this actually looks like, hey, can you see this? Hey, look, there I am. I'm actually going to be able to roll in this scenario. Let me go get a box really quick. I'll be right back. All right, look at that, perfect size. So I was peering around my let me just make that a little bit smaller. I was peering around my dice box. I'm like, I want to get 4 of the same exact color, and of course I'm like looking at the different color sets, and there is not a single one. It's at 3. I had 3 for each, but like never was there 4. So I got one that's just a little prettier than the others, but I guess they're all green. So we're gonna actually roll our stats and see how chaotic we can get with this, just because in the end, even though standard array is a more balanced situation, rolling dice is always more fun. I know that a lot of people have like rules to be like, hey, if you roll low enough, you can re-roll. But like at that point, I don't understand what the purpose is. I have tried to implement those rules, and they really feel redundant after use. It doesn't really mean anything. So yeah, let's just figure out what we're gonna get here. If you're gonna roll dice, you honestly should just stick with whatever it is you roll, even if it's just absolute ass. So that's the bummer. Like right now, I'm immediately thinking like, God, she's gonna have the worst stats, and I'm completely fucked. So yeah, we roll 4 d6s. We drop the lows. Holy moly! Okay, well, never mind. I guess the chaos is going in my direction here. We're swinging at the gate with a 17. That's awesome. Let's just plug it in where we think we're going to put it, and then we'll move around stats as we go. We're starting with a 17. That's nice. That's definitely nice. Which one rolled the lowest? Was it the green one? I have no idea. All right. Okay. So seeing some balance come in here. That's an 11. So that's kind of a throwaway. Not gonna be the greatest, but it's gonna go somewhere. Kind of stat. Watch everything else be at a 0. See that's it. That's the chaos of the dice. You never really know what the hell you're gonna have to work with. Dropping one of the 2s, we're looking at, oh no, another 11. Curse. Watch me get 5 11s. I'm gonna have this will be the greatest character in the world. Just with a lot of 0s and good at one thing. Oh hey, there we go. Just a 15. Nice. 15's not bad. After we roll these, I want to compare the stats overall to what a standard array would have given me. So that was usually my rule, is roll dice, and if it doesn't go well for you, take standard array. And that's it's worked, but I feel like if you're rolling dice for a reason. All right, dropping the 2 here, we're looking at a 13. Honestly, we're pretty average, especially if we don't end up with a low stat here. All right, last roll. Okay. Alrighty. Well, actually, this worked out really well. All right, so 12. It's another 17. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal. Obviously, I'm going to be putting that 17 over into Constitution. And that was a 13, so that's going over here. Yeah, like, how do I exactly want this set up? My Constitution is sitting pretty neat. I get a +2 to the Constitution, so I'm almost wondering if it has to be 17. I really wish it was I wish it was higher. I wish it was the 18, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. All right, we don't need this anymore. This can go away. You don't need to see any camera. Get out of here with that. So we'll set that over here. So these stats are actually really decent, and I'm going to almost guarantee that they are better than the standard array stats, just because of the double 17s. I don't have any 8, but I want to know by like how much I have crushed regular standard array. Calculator. Release it unto me. And then we'll really decide where these are going. But I'm just curious. 13 plus 17 plus 15 plus 11 plus 11 and 84. 84 is our overall score. And then as far as standard array goes, I believe standard array gives you a... actually, I might have to look this up so I don't get it wrong. How do I get a new tab quickly? T? Yeah. Alright, you can go back to gigantic. Standard, like, I'm pretty sure I know it. I'm pretty sure it's 16, 15, 14, 13, 10, and 8, but like I'm not 100% sure. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. Yeah, see, I was completely off. So 84 was our average there, so let's just quickly see. I should remember this number. Yeah, we're actually beating it out by quite a bit, more than 10. 12 points. 12 points over the normal. That's like getting a 5th score or 7th score. I think I know how many stats there are after playing for 5 years. All right, so where do I want these bad boys to go? I know I'm getting a bonus from strength. I'm happy with where that is because I'm getting that nice solid round number. When it comes to stats, you're really aiming for mechanically. This is a very mechanical thing. You're aiming for even numbers because even numbers give you modifier bonuses. So every time you hit an even number past 10, you get a plus. And like, I wish this was a 20, but there's no way for me to get that to be a 20. And looking at the rest of my stats, I'd love if I would have had a 16 here because I'd just thrown my constitution there because something, especially players who have a focus on meta stuff, seeing an uneven number is a bummer, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. So how intelligent do I want her to be versus able to sort of defend herself? I know I've got unarmored defense, so my dexterity is going to give me a bonus to my armor, but there will be sort of more added on there. At least that's how I understand unarmored defense to work. I might have to go back and take a look, but I think I'm kind of cool having the 13 be I honestly might not be there. I'm gonna put 15 in dexterity. It just makes sense to me for them to have decent enough dexterity, and just because of the nature, I'm imagining that she's wiser than she is intelligent. Even though I was like really pushing for intelligence before, I still feel like 11 just means, it means that you're average and you're not like crazy unique. So I wonder if, I said it before, I'm wondering if it should stay intelligence, like at least 13. So I'll take the bonus to intelligence, not to wisdom. That is not like a mechanically like positive choice. Like, obviously I don't want to take wisdom because I have wisdom based skills. It would be nicer to have the bonus there versus intelligence, but I already kind of pushed that she would be an intelligent character, so I kind of am okay taking that stat. A lot of times, especially with building a character, and I know it sucks to sort of boil it down to this, but mechanically you're only really worried about your core stats, and with a barbarian it is just strength. I would say strength, constitution, running rate behind it. It's usually about 2 different stats. As long as they are high, it doesn't really matter what your other scores are. Your other scores are going to be very situational in comparison to that. But as far as functioning in battles and fights, which are it's what D&D is built to do. Look at that rule book from page 1 to however many hundreds of thousands, however many hundreds of pages you are reading. The majority of the rules you're looking at are based in fighting, because that is what D&D is. It's a fighting tabletop RPG. It simulates battles and obviously simulates all kinds of other stuff that you can do, but with a focus on fighting. All of your abilities usually have more of a focus leaning, I would say, more than 2/3 of what is on your character sheet is going to be related to you fighting. So definitely, as long as you have your highest stats in those, it shouldn't really be a big deal. Dexterity is always a great stat if it's not already your prominent one to dump your third highest into, because you're going to get dictates your armor class and quite a few other things. If not dexterity, wisdom, because it can dictate your perception and how well you can see. Intelligence and charisma, if they are not stats that are immediately prominent to your character class, they are going to be much more related to roleplay situations. And some people might want to dump higher stats into those. Totally do it. If that's what you want to do, but definitely prioritize your highest stats for something that's going to make you functional. Unless you're in a campaign that doesn't do a lot of fighting, at which point I'm going to ask why. I know I'm going to get flack for this. Why are you playing D&D? You could play some other stuff, but I mean, people still play D&D and do non-combat stuff and make it work. And kudos to them. They can keep doing that and have fun doing it. And if they do, then I will not yuck their yum. They do their thing. All right. So we've got our stats solidified for this character. We can move on to the next area here. So it shows all your bonuses, your base score, all your extra bits and bobs. Honestly, once you get your stats in, there's not much left to do on this page. So we'll move down the line to background. Now, here's the thing that I don't 100% agree with. I feel like background should come before class. It should be race background class. That's personally how I have done it, just because race and background feel like something you should get in mind who your character was from the beginning versus who your character is now. Class is more related to who your character is now as an adventurer. Race and background have more to do with who you are as a person, where you've been up until now. Which I feel like definitely defines things a lot clearer. And I've personally found a lot more positive feedback and easier character builds doing this part earlier rather than later, because it gets you thinking about who your character is versus what role are they going to play in the fight ahead of you. So definitely not a bad idea to go from 1 to 4 back to 2 and 3. You can jump around and it's not a big deal, but that's just how they set it up, and that's fine. So I get a pretty large choice of what kind of background I want. See, I'm even in this scenario where I haven't even really thought of this. I don't really know what background they have. I haven't gotten to that part. I feel like if I was back at the beginning, that maybe I could have at least had the thought and then moved on and then come back. But I completely forgot this is even a thing. We have some specifics. One's like a Boros Legionnaire. That is from the Magic the Gathering set. I kind of wish they would put like a little star next to those so you know that those are for like the Magic the Gathering world or the Eberron world or whatever other world is added. It'd be nice to see a highlight that is not core material. Especially if you're just writing a game and your DM, doesn't know DnD Beyond that well, got it suggested to them and just says, oh yeah, go make your character in DnD Beyond. I set it up in there, and then they've got all the stuff on, and you're like, I'm a Boros Legionnaire. And if you choose Boros Legionnaire, it's going to have specifics to the Boros Legion in that world. So when you try to bring up your background that you're a Boros Legionnaire, your DM's either going to have to think on their feet, or they're going to be very confused and go, oh, that's not a part of my campaign, but okay. I mean, you're asking for it when you checkmarked the Magic the Gathering stuff at the first home tab, but I mean, that stuff comes with like races and cool things that any game can hold. So I feel like it'd be nice to have it marked in some way. In any case, really trying to think of who my character was. Far Traveler makes sense. But Far Traveler is a little bit weird. It's literally just like I am from another place, and like that being your background feels very vague and like it's kind of hard to go. Like, how can my entire background be I'm from a place that is far away? I feel like there's so much more to people than exactly where they are from. But Far Traveler can still be cool if you feel like that is a focus of your character and something you want to highlight. It's worth taking, but it's very specific. Folk Hero, Gladiator, Golgari Agent, that's another Magic the Gathering. Got Gruul. Oh wow, they threw Haunted One in here. That's kind of a cool thing about D&D Beyond. It grabs everything, and in the sense it's the official. You can really know that you've got access to literally every background. Like, yeah, look at all these house agents. It's all from Eberron. But there's a lot of like adventure books for D&D that hid extra like backgrounds and extra races and extra other like cool. Well, actually, I don't think any races, but mostly backgrounds. And it's nice to see them all kind of condensed here. Like the Haunted One is from Strahd. And most other systems that build like Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, unless you have that material purchased, which I do actually believe it works that same way here in D&D Beyond. So I might be talking out my ass, but in my experience, it's hard to find a system that gets it all here, and I always feel like D&D Beyond kind of has it down pat. Not an urchin, not a soldier, not a sailor, not a sage, cultist, pirate, no. Outlander feels right. It's classic, but it feels right. I know it's like it's not interesting really. Let me just go through: Inheritor, Hermit, Haunted One, Gladiator, Folk Hero. It's kind of Faceless. The fuck is Faceless? Being who you are, you could never be a hero. Whether due to your class, your people, your family, or your sins, something about you prevents you from effectively pursuing the path you've chosen. Even so, that doesn't stop you. You've left your old face behind, taking on a new persona, becoming something more. Characters with the faceless background don a disguise, literally or otherwise, as they adventure. This persona might be a dramatic or subtle in a way, though many characters have such larger-than-life personalities. Therefore, this background largely focuses on detailing the hero behind the mask. I don't know what this is from. It feels like the perfect for like a changeling. But maybe that's too much, because you're already effectively faceless with a changeling. So maybe having both is a little annoying. And maybe just redundant. My favorite word of the day: criminal spy, criminal curator. No, none of these feel right. Charlatan at Baldur's Gate. I guess there's a specific to that. And just an athlete? No, athlete was a background. You strive to perfect yourself physically in execution of everything you do. The thrill of competition lights fire in your blood, and the roar of the crowds drives you forward. Tales. Is this based off Gladiator? Tales of your exploits precede you and might open doors and loosen tongues. Whether one of the... I don't know this word. What is this word? A city-state in... Oh... This might actually be from the new book. Yep, it is Theros. It's the Theros mythos. Physical contests and those, so athletes arise from all walks of life and all cultures. That is cool. What is their feature? Echoes of victory. Yeah, they're very, very gladiator. I'm not feeling that for her. That's really cool though. Archaeologist, anthropologist, acolyte. I really haven't like super thought about who the character is yet. Just more about who they are mechanically. I feel like it's so that's sort of how I start my characters, and then when I play them I discover more about who they are. Backgrounds tend to change, but where to start? I wonder if our Traveler is the best choice here, even though I kind of dunked on it. I feel like Far Traveler could work, and then we can change it as we go. That makes sense to me. Let's do Far Traveler. Yeah, backgrounds don't have to be solid. Backgrounds can change as they go. Though the fact that they come with these mechanical sort of ties makes it difficult to manipulate them without feeling like you're just shifting things around to shift them around. But let's go in here and see what we can do. This is a chance for me to heighten her intelligence, which I think I'm going to do. So I could just go into history, investigation, medicine. These are all intelligence, nature, intelligence based. or I could go with the survival and just go even further into what she has. But since I did put intelligence stats in, I kind of want to have them be decent at this. Investigation versus history feels more up the alley of a far traveler. Tool proficiency, so I actually get to decide on something that I'm good at. I don't know. It's always weird when they throw you it's this musical instrument or gaming set. I always feel like these are kind of I mean, it's definitely not everybody, because everybody's, does their own thing, but in my experience, still, this is a situation where I see people barely really touch these things, so it's kind of funny that they even put them in here. It seems like something you would choose for yourself like later on. I'm imagining that what she carries with her, I'm gonna say a viol. I think that makes sense to me. Just a small musical instrument. At least I hope. Let me see. I always have to look these up half the time. What is a viol? Yeah, it's like a violin. I'm into that. It's effectively a violin. I'm sure some music person out there will be like, yeah, push my glasses up as hard as I can to the bridge of my nose. You are wrong, sir. I get an extra language. Another situation that a lot of times I just let my players ask me what language is prominent, because a lot of people don't find a lot of use out of anything that isn't going to be in their campaign. Like people will choose primordial and never ever come across the creature such as that, and it's funny because it's like it just sits there. It's just kind of a useless choice. Didn't really need to be there. And I've also allowed players to leave these blank and fill them as they go, because I can't always promise that there's going to be a language in here that works. That way somebody can be like, I do know that language as they come across it. And I know that feels really gamey, but I don't just let them do it for free. Like, I know, of course I know Marquesian. And it's like, okay, well, you're going to have to tell me how you know and it's not like they need to prove it to me. They need to roleplay. That's what it's a prompt for roleplay, to be like, hey, come up with a cool thing. It's going to add to your character. We're all going to be into it. And like, as long as you put some effort into it outside of just, I know this language, why? Because it's, it's an opportunity to sort of role play a part of your character that maybe you never knew, and you're sort of writing as you go. In the situation of having to choose immediately and you don't have access to your DM at the moment, or you plan on playing this character in the future, there's a few safe ones to go with. Elvish, Dwarvish, obviously, in the hopes that you are playing what is like your standard fantasy campaign, which, I mean, it's a safe bet that you've probably got it. It's not guaranteed, obviously, every game is different, but I usually always grab Elvish when I'm given the chance, because Elvish has a good chance of coming up. Elves are a part of D&D for the most part. So we have all eyes on you, which is a funny feature because it's literally like something that happens already. Like it's I always imagine bringing this up like, oh, by the way, guys, so DM's just like, oh yeah, you walk into a bar and everybody looks up and they look at the party as you guys walk in, like classic scene, the flippy doors open up and close behind you, whatever those are called, and as they do, everyone in the saloon turns to look in your direction, and then I just imagine playing this character and just be like, I actually have a feat that says all eyes on me, so everybody's looking at me a little bit more, so just emphasize that, Dungeon Master, for me, please. Oh yeah, okay, so they all look in your direction, but like most of the room really looking at this guy. It just feels a little like it's a little like me. It's very, depending on who is wielding this this feature, I can see it getting out of hand. Like, oh, by the way, everyone is always looking at me more than other people. It'd almost be perfect to take Far Traveler for a bard, and just be completely obsessed. Yeah, of course, I'm perfect. Suggested characteristics. Okay, so these are nice. In this scenario, I'm kind of interested in just jumping random. I actually never knew they had all the physical characteristics and stuff down here. That's actually cool. Let's get into that. But suggested characteristics, let's do a random one. Sarcasm and insults are my weapons of choice. Great. What a perfect character. And let's do random ideal. Adventure, I'm far from home, and everything is strange and wonderful. Okay, cool. Bonds are, I hold no greater cause than my service to my people. Okay, interesting. And then my flaw is I'm secretly, or not so secretly, convinced the superiority of my... Where is that? Of my own culture over that of this foreign land. Oh, great. So... Suggested character, I don't even know if those will stick. I think I'm just rolling those. I have no idea if they'll actually apply to my character. Oh yeah, it wanted me to choose 2 features. Let's go get that. I have different assumptions from those around me concerning personal space. Yeah, I've seen that one before. A lot of times I don't make players fill these out. I don't think it's completely necessary. If it's your first character and you feel like you need some help figuring out who a character is because you haven't really thought that part out, suggested characteristics are a great place to start, and you just change them as you go. Character details. Interesting. Alignment. I'm not going to get into a giant alignment discussion, but alignment is useless or useful in your campaign depending upon who is running it and what importance it has. If alignment is not going to come up mechanically at any point in the game, I don't believe it is worth plugging in. I honestly, if you're doing alignment mostly for roleplay reasons, I feel like alignment gets in the way. It's not realistic to real life. I'm sure you can find many videos out there discussing how this works, but my best way to go about it is I tell my players, if you are going to choose an alignment, if it's something that you feel is like is going to work for your character and is going to help you focus on what to do with that character, go for don't look at the evil, good, neutral. Don't worry about that. That part is 100% subjective, but do look at chaotic, lawful, and, well, like I said before, no neutral. Look at lawful, chaotic, and neutral. I think that's the best way to keep a focus on it. Like, don't focus on the second half, focus on the first half. If you want to be chaotic, be chaotic. Be you're a chaotic kind of character. If you're somebody who follows the law, then you're that kind of character. If you're somebody who kind of floats into the middle, the thing about neutral and the way I think about it is a lot of people are like, oh, neutral means you do not participate in both. To me, neutral means you participate in both. That is a better way to think of neutral, because neutral is not neutral boring, it's neutral. Neutral boring is like the worst thing that you can do. Like, oh, my character is just aloof and doesn't give a fuck about anything going on. And I'm gonna go, great. It sounds like you don't give a fuck about what's going on and you don't want to be in this game. Depending on the player, obviously. Someone can play an aloof character and still be engaged and have fun, but it's very dependent on the person playing versus anything else. But I usually emphasize that if you're gonna go neutral, have it mean more that you're gonna use both of these versus just one. So for this character, I think they are chaotic, and I'm going to say here, but I'm not. I'm gonna just go neutral, just so that we're not focusing on evil or good in this scenario. But chaotic, they're a chaotic character. My faith. Oh, I can actually type that in. TBA. We will see. And then you get a lifestyle choices, which is really funny, because lifestyle is something that so few people use or apply. It's kind of effectively a way to bypass dealing with money. I think it's cool. I would like to see games use it more, like instead of games especially where you're not going out and you're getting a lot of treasure. Lifestyle is literally just going to be, do you want, what can you afford? It is a category of wealth that you have, and the DM never asks, what can you afford, what can't you afford, what are the prices here versus what they aren't. Whether not having to go through tons of math, breaking down your gold into silver into copper, you just pick a lifestyle and that covers everything. Now, I don't even think that's how it's written in the book, which confused me. I believe lifestyle covers other stuff, and it's very vague, but that is how I run lifestyle, and I don't know how else you would run it, but effectively just giving, I feel like the best way to look at this is how other RPGs do it, where you have a rank of wealth versus
exact amount of money, and it can go up and down depending on things that you do. And it's great just to start somewhere. And I'm going to start my character poor because I do not think they have a ridiculous amount of money. I don't even think they have modest. I believe they're mostly just a traveler. Physical characteristics. So these are all, they're not choices. They're just personal preference, of which I'm just going to, you actually get to dictate the weight here. Oh, it has to be a number, age, years. Oh, gender we do know. We're obviously going to just determine that later. I'll just say 0 to both and figure that out as we go. It's interesting though, because there are actual suggestions for this, and it would be cool if they added those here. Just because a lot of times people are like, wait, like, I don't know, what's fit? I'm an adventurer. I'm fit. So like, oh man, we're gonna get your exact weight count. A lot of time that's in there to be like, can somebody pick you up without being encumbered, blah blah blah. But if you're not using encumbrance, weight doesn't matter. Age is obviously, like, I mean, yeah, you can put time in there, but like, I don't know, there are campaigns that are like that, but not ones that I've experienced that bypass multiple years, and age really matters. It's kind of just the flair and fun for yourself, so fill these out at your own discretion. I've done personality characteristics. It already plopped those in for me, so that is nice. It saved those, which is cool, something to base it off of. And notes. This is actually an advanced notes section. I wonder if it actually has access to this on the main page. Interesting. Very cool though. I wonder if that is new, because I've gone into the notes tab before on my old characters, and it's just kind of a place to go. Next is equipment. So the equipment system is actually really nice to have, especially not having to deal with searching things up and writing them down and everything. The DnD Beyond just makes the whole situation much easier. Starting equipment, you can choose equipment or gold. I will always suggest equipment, because unless you want to go shopping and do a lot of math, gold is not going to be your favorite choice. Equipment is just easier, just gives you a list of choices to make here. So a great axe or any martial or melee weapon. I'm going to go any martial or melee weapon, and I'm going to go great sword, because I am a great sword person much more than I am a great axe person. 2 hand axes or any simple weapon. I honestly might go any simple weapon, and I'm just gonna actually grab a dagger. Or wait, is there a scythe on here? A sickle. Yeah, let's grab a sickle. I think that's cool. I think a curved dagger basically is an interesting weapon. Well, sickles aren't really curved daggers, but I mean, or are they? You know, who knows? It's all opinion. My Far Traveler starting equipment gives me all these nice things that are automatically plugged into my character, but then I get a choice right here. Any one gaming set I'm proficient with, or any one musical instrument I'm proficient with. Yeah, give me my actual, I would like to have that musical instrument. Thank you. And we can just add our starting equipment. Very cool. All right, so inventory is already in there. Other possessions, personal possessions. Poorly wrought maps for my homeland. That's nice. It's kind of nice that it does that like that. I don't know if that organizes the same way in the sheet. It's kind of a bummer to see them here and not other places, and then you can add, shit tons of items if you feel like you've got something extra. It's nice, keeps track of your attuned, and of course it's keeping my total weight up here, because even though my encumbrance isn't on, it wants to remind me how much weight I have. I actually think that's cool, because then you can kind of scale a little bit better where things are getting out of control with how much you are carrying. Like if I see this thing go to 1,000 pounds, I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I'm not carrying quite that much gear. All right, and with it next, we can either export to PDF, which I'll show you what that looks like really quick. Click to download. It actually gives you the whole character sheet. So if you're actually showing up to the table physically, you can get it right here and keep updating your character and have your character physically at the table, which is flippin' awesome. My opinion. I remember this was broken for a while, and it was a bummer back when this sort of first came out. But what I usually use, because I've got like a tablet at the table or whatever, I use the digital character sheet because it's nice, it's convenient. You get to see everything. And then we come into our character situation, which is pretty cool. So all of our stuff is on here. Nice organized situation. I'm not gonna really go over. I'll briefly go over where everything is. But before I do that, something just fun to note. Something I didn't always know about. You get this because it's new. A lot of new features show up. But if you hit the little gear next to your character, you get all these cool options. So the dice rolling is a cool thing that you can have on now, and it'll roll dice automatically for you, which is fucking amazing. And I'm like very pumped about that because it used to not be there, and I was like, oh man, I got this digital tablet, like wouldn't it be nice if it would just roll it for me. So now that is open to everybody, that's pretty cool. But a few things that you can change about your sheet, which is really cool, is you can actually change your frame, and you can change the background, and you can even change the theme on top of your portrait and other stuff. And we didn't know about this for a while, but I don't know how long it's been out, but like changing the frame is cool. You get a lot of neat choices here. I actually really like a couple of these are pretty cool. Like these are fancy frames. Like this one's even animated. That's very cool. Myriad. I actually really like that one. That one's pretty sick. We might just leave that. And then there's more of these to like show like a symbol next to them, which is pretty cool. Man, you get a lot of really cool frames. There's even more from last time. Is that animated? Oh, it is. Oh my god. These are so cool. I'm gonna take that solar one. Hell yeah, wait, what's this look like? Oh, it's just a mask? It's kind of cool. It seems like they upload these like as new things come out. I'm taking that flame one. That's pretty neat. But we'll close that. But going back to settings, changing the backdrop is cool. So obviously they've got a lot of neat pictures that you can throw back there to add to all the cool shit going on. Oh, creepy. Ooh, might just have the lion, man. Just have the lion guy back there. So these are all the newest ones, I think, from the newest book. Kind of into having just the lion back there because I am a lion. Lions, for sure. And going into the settings, we can also change the theme and change our color for like what we want that to look like, which is cool. What color feels like it goes the best? So that's the default red. I don't know, I'm really liking some of these. Actually, I wonder if... No, because that's not very visible. Oh, color choices. How fun are they? I'm kind of going to go with this sort of more vibrant red versus the dark red, though. Its difference is incredibly negligible. But I'm going to keep that there just because I like that. Very cool. How do I get back to just one menu? Kind of funny I have to like open it up and close it. Beep beep. Yeah, just take me back to the beginning. I don't think there's anything else I can really do here. I could look for an image for my character and just sort of show how that goes up here. Let's do a... You know what? Forget it. I'm immediately thinking like anthropomorphic lion character. I'm gonna get a lot of weird stuff up there, and I'm just gonna leave that. Not judging anybody. Everybody into their own thing. Totally cool. But I, at least for stream purposes, even if it's not up here, I don't feel like running into anything. You know what? No, I'm gonna stop being a baby. I'm a baby. Let's just do it. I just need like lioness DnD character. I'm such a baby. Let's see if it gives me like a cool... I want her to have a hood. Lioness... like rogue D&D character. Of course it wants it to correct to D in D. What if I just typed in Leonin? Leonin characters D&D. Think I'll get anything? Get a lot of males. That's the one thing that I knew would happen. Oh god, it's literally Zyra. Zyra, like literally there's some art for Zyra. Oh god, doesn't take much to go down and find literally people playing. I'm not the first person to think of this. Okay, well that's good to know. Well, I can't exactly find a good character portrait here. I feel like that usually takes a long bit of time to get that. So we won't spend too long focusing on that. I'm cool just with the portrait. As far as like uploading it, you just go in, you hit your little change portrait. It's gonna give you oh. Never mind. We're good. It had me handled. We're fine. It totally knew. Actually, that's really cool. So you can choose a file, or it'll give you a suggested one, and it's nice that it actually suggests one for your race. So we're perfect. What? DnD Beyond saving me. Thanks, DnD Beyond. I appreciate you. I think you can even change your dice up. I honestly do. I do believe you can mess with your dice. I don't know where, but it is somewhere in here that it allows you to mess with the dice. Well, let's just roll and see. Oh, geez. Alright, interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. Do an unarmored strike. The way it rolls, it's kind of like... It kind of like hits a number and skids. I do like this, though. This is amazing. Right here. And then if I want to do damage... Nice, gives me a 7. That's awesome. I would love to do a game full. Oh, and I like how it melts into the sheet. That's really cool. Love it. Oh, and it saves them. Oh, fancy. All right, so those are all some of the interesting little things that you can do with the character sheet, some extras. Obviously, you've got everything you need here. You got your HP, you got your armor, you got your initiative. You got all this. If you're used to any kind of D&D character sheet, this is going to be pretty self-explanatory. A lot of the stuff that's hanging around, the only thing that might be new is the way that this is sort of set up. So a lot of the details of your character sheet, the meat of your sheet is always going to be in this box. That's what I tell my players is you got your actions, you got your equipment, you got your features and traits, the description of your character, the notes that you take, which, hey, they are organized in that way. I don't know if that's new or if I just never noticed. And then you got your extras, which are like creatures that you own, like familiars and pets and other stuff like that, or companions if you have any. You can put their stats in here. It's pretty cool. I won't get into any of that detail, but you get to kind of go in and check out everything that you got going on and edit it, and there's plenty of awesome extras. Oh man, 5 gold. I'm rich. I'm so rich. I wonder if it actually does gold math for you. I'm sure it probably does, but other than that, yeah, you can turn on the dice, have them roll or turn them off if you don't. Oh yeah, you can even highlight here. Just toss it down. I could see people getting really salty at these digital dice. I'm sure most people just get salty at dice in general. But yeah, that is basically the setup. I love a level 1 character. Now, when it comes to leveling up your character, which we're going to do just really quick, the thing that I usually do is I just hit that little anvil that was up in the corner where this page is now when I'm on my main character sheet, and then I just take my character and there it is, 1 to 20. I would just say where I want to be. I'm cool with level 5. It makes sense to me. Hit points, it's going to do that automatically because that's the way I set it up. So my hit points currently are 60, so it's just taking the average of each die. If you want to roll this manually, you can. I personally never suggest rolling unless you are a barbarian, because it's your highest chance to get a good number, where I would say if you are going to roll, be a barbarian. But even in this scenario, I feel safer just taking the average. It's just a preference. So the minute you level up your character, even if you bypass multiple levels, it's going to just bam, it's going to just give you everything you've got. So my armor, defense, my reckless attack, all my cool stuff, and then it's going to give you a highlight on everything that you would have needed to make for that decision between 1 and 4. So my primal path, which is kind of a big one for this character, I was really thinking a battle rager for sure. I just wanted her to be just a straight up like destroyer of worlds situation. Storm Herald's cool. Like all these are neat. Yeah, Path of the Zealot, Berserker. Like I could have gone like hyper religious with the character, and I might still, but I really think Battle Rager is cool. Oh, it is. Oh, it's dwarves only. Obviously, you can break that if you want. What is Path of the Zealot? Divine Fury. Starting when you choose this path at 3rd level, you can channel Divine Fury into your weapon strikes while you're raging. The first creature you hit on each of your turns with a weapon attack takes extra damage equal to 1d6 plus half your barbarian level. Oh shit. The extra damage is necrotic or radiant. You choose. Dude. I think we're going Path of the Zealot. I'm into it. Necrotic or Radiant? Interesting. Necrotic. I like that. And then we have an ability score improvement. You can take that or a feat. And honestly, for this character, I think at this early of a level, I'm not hyper interested in taking a feat. Obviously, Great Weapon Master would be super good here. Plenty of other stuff, but I'm actually more interested in ability score improvement because I can round out that Constitution score. Hell yeah. And I can round out the dexterity score, so my stats are looking mighty nice. I got a 20 and a 16 sitting in there, which is good stuff. So boom, we got all of that. Extra attack is where we want it. Necrotic. And I'm actually, because of this decision to go here, it's why I feel like backgrounds need to be flexible. I'm going to throw away Far Traveler and take Acolyte. I feel like that makes a hell of a lot more sense to me than what it did before. So let's keep going down the line. I believe that is everything that we needed to make as a decision. Interesting that my HP went up to 65. I wonder if that was due to something else that I did. Oh, it's because of my Constitution bonus. Yeah, man, I'm fucking killing it in HP. So these are crushing it. Beautiful round numbers. I mean, I could have gone 12 for here, but getting that extra 16 dexterity is just nice. Having that high AC is good. Definitely want her to be a martial character. Let's give her a random name. Brinlin is actually a really cool name. Let's stick with it for now. Instead of a Far Traveler, I'm definitely thinking an Acolyte, but was there something even further? Maybe like a cultist of some kind? Something extreme. Charlatan, City Watch, Clan Crafter, Spy. I swear there was a cultist on here. Like 100%. I might be crazy. House Agent. Noble. Outlander Pirate. Yeah. Rakdos Cultist. So I could take this and just turn Rakdos into something else, but I'm interested in, so I get acrobatics and performance, which aren't great, but there was cultist. I wonder if maybe taking Acolyte would be better. I like the cultist, but I'm immediately like, oh, that doesn't feel like cultist. Oh, it's because they're performers. Okay, never mind. Acolyte might be the better situation. Yeah, I would love it if like you could kind of twist these the backgrounds from other modules like the Magic the Gathering world and the Eberron world to be more in your favor, but I'm wondering if Acolyte is just, but yeah, Insight and Religion feel immediately better because one is at least intelligence based and it feels more focused on what it is that I'm doing. But I get a bunch of languages, which is interesting here, and I kind of went with the Necromantic, so I'm imagining that my extra languages should be something a little dark. So a Abyssal sounds cool. I wonder if Infernal would also be. I think Abyssal and Infernal makes sense here. Get into those evil languages, quote unquote evil. Shelter Faithful. All of these seem fine. Physical characteristics. Yeah, we might need to change out our personality here. So let's edit traits and go for random, and then let's add to some. It's actually interesting because we might be able to get some, since we're not exactly deleting what we had before, maybe having two sets of ideals really rounds out a character. That's interesting. Let's just drop it in here random, and we'll read them after just to see what it is we got. Because it's definitely, I'll just read like a few. I no longer, I hold no greater cause than my service to my people. So that was my original bond. And I will someday get revenge on the corrupt temple hierarchy who branded me a heretic. I love that. But they also hold no greater cause than the service to their people. That almost fits. I wonder if finding two bonds is better than one. I am secretly or not so secretly convinced of the superiority of my own culture over that of this foreign land. God, I'm like making an evil character for sure. Maybe I should have rolled evil. All right, after calling it subjective. I judge others harshly and myself more severely. Interesting. Like these having double personality traits has made things, or double traits has made things very interesting. So this is chaotic and good. Okay, all right. Adventure, far away from home. Everything is strange and wonderful. Charity, I always try to help those in need, no matter what the personal cost. I have like a character who's like good for all the wrong reasons. Like, I don't know, like, it's interesting. And what other traits did I get here? Because originally I had sarcasm and insults are my weapons of choice. Makes sense. I have different assumptions from those around me concerning personal space, and then my new ones are I see omens in every event and action, and I can find common ground between the fiercest enemies, empathizing with them, and always work there. This is like such like a balance between good and evil character just from that it's very interesting. Brinlin is cool. I'm into Brinlin. Very cool. All right, so I don't have to worry about equipment. I believe my possessions have probably stayed the same. It's not going to re-give me stuff from the religion, which I think is fine. I should keep what I originally had at level 1. And then I can view my character sheet, and they should be boom, all level up to level 1. Or sorry, level 5. And now I'm wheeling and dealing with a level 5 character. Bing, bang, boom. I'm good. And they have a bunch of awesome features and traits, and I'm ready to play. So yeah, very, very cool. Well, this was fun. I enjoyed creating Brinlin here, and I actually might play them at some point in the future. We'll see. It tends to be that if you make a character in D&D Beyond or anywhere really, that that character tends to fall into the obscurity of your character page, because every time a new game comes up, it's always fun to make a brand new character, and a lot of times, if your DM is good, they've given you a list of sort of what you're jumping into, and you can craft a character based on that, which is always a more enjoyable experience in my opinion. But who knows, maybe one day we'll have just a random game, someone will say, hey, get a level 5 character. I'll throw Brinlin in there. Very, very cool. Well, this was very long-winded, I know that. An hour and 25 minutes to make a D&D Beyond character. A lot of talking, a lot of jibber jabber. I did not, I unfortunately am probably not going to cut this down because that sounds like a shit ton of editing for me to do, and not something I want to spend my my day or weekend messing around with. So this will just be a giant video. I was going to make it a stream, but I really didn't want to have to interact with the chat at the same time that I am just building this character. I just wanted to build it, upload it, have it just be a fun little thing that for anybody who listens to my stuff to check out, because D&D Beyond's pretty cool, and I hope this gets you interested in maybe trying to build your own characters in here if you haven't already. Very, very cool. Well, that is the whole kit and caboodle. Hey, there's my camera. Check out my the back of my computer, nice and dusty. Well, that is everything, friends. Thank you for joining me. If you stuck around for the whole video, leave a comment telling me what you think of the character, and if you make a character in D&D, feel free to just drop in there and say how you enjoyed the experience. But very cool. That is everything. Hope you have a good one, and maybe we'll do this again in the future. Who knows? All right, take care. Hey, have a good one. Bye.